Steve, thanks for joining us. Despite going out tonight, losing 5-4 on penalties to Brentford B's team, you must be really pleased and proud of how your players performed.
Yeah, I thought the boys were fantastic. Obviously we're not on a great run at the minute, and I was disappointed with performance Saturday for parts of the game. And you come here tonight, you're a little bit concerned because obviously you know what you're playing against. I wasn't sure how we were going to be fair, but we made a few changes tonight. We brought a couple back in, and we said to them before, this is your opportunity to get yourself back in the side. So I think a few players have played themselves out of the side over the last couple of games, and it was an opportunity for one or two to play themselves back into the side, and I thought they did that. Ultimately, they're playing against top players. Full-time pros, and I'm sure some of them will go on and have fantastic careers, but I thought we matched them from start to finish. Disappointed with the first goal. We didn't defend well enough. Our front two didn't defend well enough, should I say, and allowed them to come forward. Should have done better. But after that, response was good. Yui, I had a go at him for the first goal, and he gave me the answer I wanted second half by scoring a typical Yui goal. Little ball in over the top and sneaks through as he's done now, I think 25 times. But I couldn't have asked any more out of them. When we was doing well, a lot of it was about work rate, and I thought we've dropped that a little bit lately for whatever reason. They couldn't have put any more in tonight, and when it goes to penalties, as we know, it's a lottery. We won the last lottery at Corinthian Casuals. Tonight there was 9 good penalties and 1 not so good. Unfortunately, that was ours. So yeah, difficult one to take, but really pleased with the performance.
Tactically, you look like you played it really brave. Obviously, you're pressing high throughout the game, and there's a really high defensive line as well. Obviously their number 9 plays right on the shoulder, and obviously you lost count of how many times you managed to catch him offside with some really close ones. But tactically, you're really brave throughout. So with the high press and the high defensive lines, obviously that's something that you learnt from watching Brentford at Harrow last week.
I watched them at Harrow last week, and there's arguments for going at it both ways. I just felt that if we sat in too deep, even if we did get possession off them, we're still 60 yards from their box. And would we be good enough to continually break them up like that and break 60 yards every single time? I didn't think we would. I always prefer to press high if we can anyway. And sometimes you have a little bit of a gamble. And sometimes you end up in one-on-one situations that can go for you or can go against you. But I felt that if we pressed high and we won it high, we'd have a chance, and we created some good chances tonight, and at times the first half should have done better when we broke play up 10 yards outside their box. So decision making on the ball wasn't great at times, but yeah, it was a brave decision to go with, and it worked tonight. I would personally have rather have lost 5-3 than sit here and lose 2-0 and not have a shot all night, and we could have had a couple more. They could have had a couple more as well, and yeah.
Couple of possible penalty incidents, or did you
The one for me on George Moore is the Stamford penalty. The ref's 5 yards away. I thought the ref was good tonight, and I don't know why he didn't give it. I looked at their perhaps they seemed to think it was. Also, I mean, I'm a fair distance away, but you normally go on players' reactions, and it's a foul at the end of the day. Anywhere else, he gives a free kick, and there was a few like that first half that he'd given us free kicks. And that's why I was surprised he didn't give it, because he was consistent all night with his decision making. But listen, as we know, we're pretty good at giving them away. We don't get as many, unfortunately. But yeah, it should have been, but it wasn't.
As you said, you changed things up tonight, and I think possibly you kind of found a good combination on the right hand side. Ikebasi and Adenodo, I think, both had really good games on the right hand side.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes shape and formation you get forced into playing certain things. Having watched them last week, I was always going to play 3 because I think we'd have got run ragged if we'd have played a 4 at the back. It meant that Ez played slightly out of position. He played right sided of the 3. I thought he was fantastic all night. I thought Samuel was probably man of the match. Certainly first half, I thought he was outstanding, and said to him, if he carries on playing like that, he won't be here much longer. He's improved massively throughout the season, and he looked head and shoulders at time tonight. He did well. I thought Ahmed did well coming back in. I had a chat with Arms the other week, disappointed to be on the bench a couple of times, but he took his medicine. He played for the 23s on Saturday, rather than come and sit on the bench. He wanted to play and get minutes under his belt, and which I quite like that reaction. And he's come in tonight, and he's done well. But that's what I wanted. I needed a reaction, because at the minute I think we've got too many players going through the motions that are not necessarily playing badly, but they ain't doing enough. And I thought Frank Keating come back in tonight. Frank's been out of sorts for a few weeks.
I mean, my money was on obviously that last couple of minutes where he could hardly move, let alone run. And I didn't have him down to take a penalty, and obviously he stepped up and
he's
put one in.
He's got a great record on pens, Frank. And obviously we checked before that he was okay, and he said he was okay to take it. So I always quite fancied one of him. He's quite calm in front of goal. But no, I thought he was good tonight. There wasn't really any bad performances. Like George Moore's work rate in midfield was unbelievable from start to finish. He was like a wasp. He was everywhere. He must be driving them mad. But no, we had a proper go at that. And fair play to Brentford as well. Had a little bit of a non-league feel about tonight. There was a few tackles going in.
Yeah, I think the young players might have learnt a lot from.
A few people get, but I quite like that because sometimes you might play a side at that level that don't want to get involved in that and start complaining to the referee. They didn't. They got stuck in, and I thought it was a good game tonight. And we certainly we didn't do a lot wrong tonight. And it's disappointing to go out, and but we've now got to turn that kind of effort back into league games.
You've also said obviously you're looking to bring in a few new faces. So any of those any closer to coming in? How you and in what areas are you looking for?
Yeah, I think obviously with winter now the pitches aren't as good. I think maybe we might need a different type of personnel that can maybe be a bit more solid, maybe in midfield areas. I think we need another option up front. Because at the minute, if Huey don't score, no one else is pushing in with goals. In fairness, Antonio's come on Saturday and scored, but if Huey don't score, George don't score, we're not scoring too many other goals at the minute. You can't keep relying on the same people to do that. I am looking for another centre-half. Sean's struggling with injury on and off at the minute, which we try to imagine. And collectively, we haven't been good enough defensively over the last few games. It's a difficult time of year to get players. Trying to get loans in off pro clubs is difficult at the minute because they're in the transfer window. They won't let anyone out until they know what they're doing. And a couple of the players have been offered and know they're not any better than what we've already got. So I don't really see the point in changing one for the sake of changing. But we did tell the boys Saturday, I had enough Saturday after the game, that I'm not going to keep coming in and saying, listen, you've done well this year, you've done this, you've done that. I said, you've either got to start delivering again or you'll go. And it's not an idle threat, it's what we've got to change. We was in this position 5 years ago, and we had a great run in the Cup, and all of a sudden the last 7 or 8 games we plummeted. And I don't ever want to be in that position again or make that, not a mistake again, but we should have made changes then, but we relied with the players and we stuck with the players and it didn't work. So they have to start delivering. We still want a couple of bodies in either way. But what we said to them tonight is that's the bare minimum tonight. The effort was there tonight. If you work like that, you've got a chance in any game. And we haven't worked hard enough lately. It's been in fits and starts. It's been individual errors. We've got to get them things right. And if it means that 2 or 3 ain't doing it consistently, then they need to go. A couple of really easy games coming up now. Truro at home and then Hayes and Yedding. They're both struggling. But no, I think with us too. So listen, they're two top sides who I would have expected to be in the top 3 by the end of the season. At the start, I said that then. I don't think any different now. And we will have to be completely on it to get anything out of both games. But we've shown this year that when we are on it, we can win them games. We can. We've shown it tonight. But you can't show it every now and then, or when you're on a good run. It's easy to do it then. With the biggest thing we've said to them tonight is you've got, as a group, you've got to start putting it in non-stop from the second you get it, from the second you leave. Not pick and choose that you do it for 80 minutes or 85 minutes or Saturday probably 65 minutes. You've got to put a shift in. Don't put a shift in, go and play somewhere else. Because it's all really nice. I come in here after and say, yeah, they're good lads, they're this, they're that. The good lads at the minute ain't picking no points up. But if they can achieve that kind of level that they have tonight, with maybe a couple of additions, I think we'll be okay.
Cheers, Steve. Thanks very much.
Cheers, James.